Data bits are going out.
Do.
Still got to do social media, though.
Oh.
No, I don't want Grok. Twitch. Wait, not Twitch. What is this? X. There we go.
Zitter. I like your term for it. Zitter. Oh yeah, let me check the tubes. So I can pop out that.
Where's my drinks? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We should be getting ready. I still got to pop out chats because we got to pop out chats these days and keep track of multiple chats.
Yeah.
Let me do the. We're going to pop that out, and we're going to pop out Twitch chat, YouTube chat. And I'm going to shut those down because I don't want to watch them.
Let's see.
Now, the fun thing is putting the chats somewhere
There we are.
where I will pay attention to them, which is a special thing for me because I am well trained to ignore things.
Pop out chat is there. Okay, good.
I really don't have a place to put them. You know what? I'm just going to put them. I'm going to minimize the DAW. And I'll put it there, and I'm going to put it there. Try to keep track of them. Maybe I can put it. This is the worst game of Tetris I've ever played. There we go. Wrong button. Hey. Oh.
Chat
We
is
should be
up.
live doing everything. What's going on, everybody? We got a little bit of a show for you this afternoon, this evening, wherever you may be. Kernel 6.7 ATI updates. Artificial intelligence, kinda, not really, but it's still an Audacity and a month of Raspberry Pi for your viewing enjoyment. No, it's okay.
Yay, Arthurian. My Steve husband should be popping in. He's home this week. We're doing work on the house. And he's finally taking some of his vacation time. He's got like a month and a half of vacation time he's accumulated, and he's gonna use that to do work on the house. Poor guy. So
So everybody's seen the news about Twitch. Got a couple of things going on at Twitch. Some questionable, some very bad news. They laid off a chunk of people at Twitch.
yeah, I saw that this morning. 500?
500. Like,
Yeah.
that's
A lot. For
earlier this week. You know, I saw the announcement with Unity was laying off some more people, right?
yeah.
Unity doesn't, I mean, amen. I feel bad for everybody losing their job, but Unity had like 7,000 employees. Like, they needed they needed to downsize. Twitch getting rid of 500 people is like, whoa, what's going on there? And, but in brighter news, Twitch is going to be doing some AV1 shenanigans. They're going to allow like multi-stream. They're trying to spin it right now. They're trying to spin it because you got to understand Twitch is a small upstart company, right? You know, little scrappy upstart company,
Run by Amazon now.
wholly owned by the multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that is Amazon. But they did a little bit of announcement that they're going to be allowing you, the user, to take over the responsibility for your streaming codes. So you might not be familiar with that. You know, for a long time, only partners had their streams re-encoded. You know, you'd send your source stream, right? 6,000, 6K up, and you'd do that. And that was a good time. And they would bust it down for you. You know, different versions. You'd have like a 1080p 60, 720p, you know, 360, maybe 140, something like that. and you're transcoding. And that was only guaranteed for partners. And like, if you're an affiliate, sometimes you get it pretty much now. Like, I think ours is being transcoded right now. We always get it for whatever reason, but they're going to give you that ability to do all of the transcoding at home and send out multiple streams. So if you want to do all the work yourself and you have enough bandwidth to do it,
Yeah.
you can send all the streams. So I think they glossed over it real quick because very few people are going to have the hardware and upstream in order to take advantage of that. But I'm curious to see how it's going to work out.
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
Yeah,
Welcome, Fraps Killer.
Fraps, it'll be interesting to see that simply because they're going to have to bust up the ingest, the max for your ingest. Because like right now, it starts getting squirrely if you try to go over 82 up. So I think they said it was going to be something like 10 to 14 megabits up instead of 8.
Okay, that's sweet.
But we'll see. Like, I don't know right now. And it's going to be limited to NVIDIA hardware for the time being. I'm not interested in this so much. I'm going to dig more into it for Linux Gamecast on Saturday, but just from when I glossed over it, what we're going to have, because it's only for NVIDIA right now. And, you know, ironically, Intel was the first to market with AV1 hardware encoding on the ARC series cards.
Yeah.
Then we got NVIDIA, and, you know, all current gen NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel cards have AV1 hardware encoding on them. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, though, you know, if you do get just the ability, see, this is where I got to dig into it more, because I think with the system that they're proposing, they're going to give you an option to send those streams and different configurations, and you'll be able to receive them. Because currently, like, you're thinking, you know, we're streaming on to YouTube right now. I'm sending YouTube HEVC, and because I, you know, set up a restream server. But what you're watching at home, it's getting transcoded into MPEG H.264. So what I'm curious about is if what Twitch is trying to do is to give you an AV1 ingest and the ability to stream to the viewer in AV1, which I doubt, but I'm curious. That's what I want to see. You know?
Mm-hmm. Well, it is nice to have some flexible options for bitrate and whatnot, but it's still sad that you know, all those people got let go. So
our GPUs are, yeah, they are, man.
Yeah, I have one right now I'm using live.
Fraps Killer. Yeah, I just streamed to both on Twitch. We stream on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, like wherever. I mean, I can't really get into like a moral thing between one soulless corporation versus another. But if you got like personal things, that's different. Yeah, more better. It's sad, it's depressing that, you know, we've had hardware encoding in our GPUs for the past 7 years. That is, if good, or if not better in some scenarios than AV1. We just can't use it for streaming because of licensing issues. And yes, I'm talking about H.265 HEVC.
Yeah.
Yeah, AV1's good. It's open, and it's not patent encumbered, which is awesome. It's better for everybody. Higher quality, less bandwidth. And everybody's got it. Everybody's got it. Now, if you would have asked me at the beginning of 2023, you're like, everybody's going to have AV1 ingest by when? I'm like, middle of the year. They're just taking a little bit longer getting that rolled out. But hey, good news.
I guess they got to put out some good news with some bad news too. But I am happy for the Twitch platform, you know, letting the users make all those adjustments. That is cool.
With that, I mean, the question about that is like putting a lot of responsibility on the users.
Yeah, making them better streamers and a little bit more technical savvy.
it's going to end horribly, but it's going to be fun to watch. And like I said,
Yeah.
I'm interested in what the fallout of this closed experiment's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as I get a target where I can go, yo, I want to point my Restream server to, Twitch and send it AV1 over whatever RTPMS or whatever they decide to use. Yeah, we'll do that. It'll be brilliant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Fraps Killer, you'll enjoy a Steam Deck OLED. They have beautiful screens on them. I have a first gen Steam Deck, but the OLED screen is beautiful. I've gotten to play with one.
Where is...
Yeah, Katana. Yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to go take a break real quick.
All right.
And see where my Steve husband is.
He's like, hey, Jill's going to be occupied. I get to do some stuff now.
I think so, yeah.
And Jill's like, hey,
I'll
come
be right
watch
back.
me. And he's like, I'm taking a break, Jill.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
All right. Why is that sub box being so bright? It's being shouty, isn't it? Look at it. Ah, whatever. You know what? Let me see what we got as far as filters on this bad boy. Let's take a brightness down just a little bit. What do I want to throw on this? I'm just going to throw a color key on it. And how are we going to reduce brightness? We're going to make it opaque. Because that's cheating and it works. There we go. It's not so shouty now. Streamers have technical stuff. Streamers are some of the most non-technical people. As somebody who helps people with streaming, and I don't say that with any malice or whatsoever. I think it's perfectly fine, but you need to have some technical problems. The only thing that winds me up a little bit is if I see a streamer being very confidently incorrect in explaining how something works to, especially if they have a large audience, that I just got to close the stream and walk away. I just have to. Not out of like pride or anything like that. I'm like, oh Lord. Because I know those people will repeat that with some authority themselves, and you have to explain to them and waste time with like, no, this is how this really works, but who knows? Who cares? I don't get wound up about stuff like that. You don't have to, it's really easy these days, like if you got the drive, you got a webcam, you want to plug a microphone into an audio interface, and like you don't even need a webcam, man. The kids are doing like, poorly pitch shifted, screechy little waifu avatar things. If that's what you want to do, I'm sure there's more technical stuff on top of that, but yeah, like just showing up, be yourself, having some good time. Like the barrier, the friction to getting into streaming these days, what I'm saying is you don't need a studio. It helps, but you don't need it. And all the information is out there. You're right. And I'm trying to do something to consolidate that information for Linux content creators and streamers. Oh yeah, there's a couple of different ways around that. Like the way we got things set up, you can't even see it on this shot. Why is this shot so tight? I am stretched out. You see this little guy over here? That is our DAW that's connected over the fiber network here in the studio that does all of our audio, but it's like our audio takes a trip over here, then it comes back into the streaming box. Let me see if I can unzoom this shot a little bit. No, I didn't realize it was so tight. Toit. Hold down the control button. Where do I want to be? Anybody's just tuning in, this is the pre-show. This is what we do. Hey man, I like my Latvia 9-port fiber switch, dude. You can't beat that thing price performance, and it's fanless. And all of my little 10 gig modules are being nice and happy. Why? Because it's cold in here. It's MikroTik can be a hard sell. MikroTik, if you're listening to me, don't do this. I've seen people have trouble getting MikroTik hardware because MikroTik straight up makes some Cisco killers, man. But they're so much cheaper than the comparative Cisco hardware that people think something's wrong with them, man. They're like, no. Like, how weird is that? But it's true. But like their router board, the 4001 I got at the top of the rack, that is such a monster router for like anything you would ever do at home. Why? Because it was designed to run wireless ISPs, man.
So Steve Husband's on the couch. He is lurking. Let's see. He said he posted something in chat, but I don't think it was not in live.
I'm really curious of what capture card you have that doesn't work with Linux. You know, I think I got the 320. Do I have the 326 24 port?
Oh, hi, JS Carhawk. I see you on YouTube chat.
Oh, hello. Yep. See, I'm still learning to read the. Yes, Arthur, and I have one of those. I have one of those in a box. I used it though. That one's really good. That one just does Switch OS, doesn't it? Oh, one of those little Elgato things. Yeah.
Oh, the Elgato.
Somebody did a little bit of reverse engineering on one of those. Oh, it does have Router OS. All right, mine only has Switch OS, so I don't have that one. Then I got the one that is not that one, obviously, but like the one that's a step down from that one. It looks the same. It's got two dual 10 gig SFP plus in it. Yeah, the fiber switch back there does Switch OS or Router OS. I don't know why you'd want to run Router OS on it, but you can. There we go. Yeah, Camlink, the Elgato, that just shows up as a V4L2 device, which is really nice.
Yeah.
We were playing around with at the beginning, before we went live, one of the little USB capture cards on Jill's machine down here. It's like, I don't feel good. And then I was telling Jill, I was like, with as many capture cards and stuff that I've reviewed over the years, like I just went to the storage room where I think I have like between 16 or 18 capture cards on a shelf. Like, here, let me just get another one. Right now, Jill's return video is brought to you by an that one from EVGA that I did.
Oh, yeah.
The XR1, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked. I just plugged it in. The ones that I trust, that I use day in and day out, are the eye-wateringly expensive ones. My Magewell Quad and my Blackmagic Quad 4K. And actually, the Intensity Pro is not terribly expensive. It's like a $200 card. It's very useful.
Nice.
But I don't recommend anybody going out and buying a Magewell Quad unless you just want to like light $900 on fire.
Yeah.
And the Blackmagic in 4K is kind of tricky because you need a spare by 8 PCI Express 3.0 slot on your motherboard. So you might have to go out and buy a Threadripper or an Epic system before you do that.
Yeah. Bigger board. More ports.
More lanes.
Yeah.
HD60. Yeah, that's what I was telling Jelly Oscar is the reason you do the time and effort for the PCI Express stuff is when you just need something that works. Like there's no futzing with it. There's no device not recognized. It is just on and you can set it. And it's like, this is your dedicated port for this, especially with OBS control.
Yeah.
Where nothing's bouncing around. And that's something I've ran into. I went through that entire process with like USB capture cards because a USB capture card on a system is usually just fine. When you get up to about 4, things get real squirrely.
Yeah.
Real
start
quick.
conflicting. I remember when you were.
Then you start learning
Yeah.
about UDEV rules and all these other hacks to try to get everything locked in together. And yeah, it's like this thread where our streaming machine's got 7 HDMI ins on it right now. So
Yeah.
but they're all assigned and they work, and I don't have to. There's not the when I come in here. You know, I can typically come in here 15 minutes before a show and go boop, get everything on, ready to go.
Yeah, USB multiplexing is a dark art, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is. I couldn't tell you, like, when we first started, there was a point there where everything in the studio at the time had to be cut on in a very particular order. And if something blinked, the entire thing had to go down. And it took about 20 minutes to get everything back up in that particular order again. It was terrifying. I pulled it off.
Yeah, JS car, you'll be happy with the road equipment. That'll be nice.
There we go. That's together. Oh, man, I still need to do the how to make a podcast in Reaper video. That has been on my burner list. I promise I'll do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I remember the Audacity one.
Yeah, it's just that a lot of people are still like using that. You run into things when you're just trying like very basic things. If you want a smorgasbord of how to do a podcast wrong, go and download any podcast from Intel.
Yes.
Like I've prevented myself from going unhinged on them because everyone is wrong in a different way. And what I assume, one of the reasons I haven't jumped on anybody is I assume every host is responsible for doing their own editing and publishing, and none of them know what they're doing in a different way. Like I could do an entire video on like what is wrong with every single one of these, and not like subjective stuff. Not like I don't like the way it sounds. I'm like, no, there's 260 clip points in this 30-minute long piece of audio. You're clipping 260 times.
Yeah.
You know, things that you can't argue, and whatever. Whatever. People don't really care. Like, I want to give them something listenable. All right. How are we doing? We feeling all right? Steve, are you comfortable?
Yes, he's.
We just got to see if he's paying attention.
Yeah.
Yes,
love.
He's like, yes, Joel, I'm watching him. Throw that away.
He had it on YouTube in the living room, and he had his Bluetooth headphones on listening. I think he was listening to us.
He's listening to Blue Oyster Cult. He's just chilling out, having a good time, being the best Steve he can be. Speaking of that, Jordan reminded me that we're recording a podcast tomorrow, too. I'm like, right. So I got to do show prep for that show tomorrow. We're going to go back over all of the first 3 episodes of the new Doctor Who.
Yeah, I remember. I knew that was coming. Cool.
Yeah,
It's been so much fun. I've been really loving it. We're gonna watch, I think, the third episode tonight.
that's
I
all
really
right.
like the second one. I really like that episode. It's one of my favorites.
We're going to be talking
It's just
about
so nice to have Dr. Donna back.
David Tennant coming back and how all that plays in the first 3 episodes, and just our thoughts on it.
Nice. Yeah.
No, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Will probably just stream that on Twitch. Maybe if we stream it, we'll probably stream it. Usually pretty good about streaming. All right. I'm going to go get some drinks, maybe a cup of tea. Speaking of Doctor, I'm going to go put some tea in my square mug.
There you go. Yes.
That anytime anyone's over at the house, they watch me like a hawk. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, how do you drink out of that? I'm like, you drink from the corner.
Yeah. And that's so cool because you got it, and then a year later, someone gifted me one. I'm like, no, I have one.
Yeah, this one from the BBC shop before they closed it.
Aw.
And
Uh-oh. Oh, Steve Husband, he put a stuffed kitty cat behind me.
all right, I'll be right back, Jill. Everybody,
Okay.
just a few minutes.
Okay. Aw. Yeah, it's so cool. It's a cat pillow, but it's not just a pillow. It's one of those neck pillows where you put it around your neck, but it's really big. Hey, Steve Husband, you can come in and say hi. He did. I guess he peeked his head in when I was taking a break, and I didn't know. We didn't know. Yeah, Mir. Definitely with our black kitty cat. He has that the classic black void eyes staring at you. Yeah, isn't it cute, Canigan? Hi, Inertia. How you doing? Oh, so Canigan and Inertia and Mir, what are you guys up to this weekend? Yeah, it's at Mir's house. I know it's probably a bit colder than it is here, but it's still supposed to be a nice weekend. I guess we're supposed to get wind tonight, though. Inertia, staying out of the hot sun. Yeah, it's cold across the whole country. Even here in LA, it's colder than average, but it's beautiful and sunny out. Here it's been 60s during the day, and then just at night we've had colder temperatures, but they're fine during the day. Ooh, that's cool, Kubuntu. Woohoo! I've been loving the KDE desktop lately. It's just been so good this last couple of years. It's just really been stable and yeah, Mir, I saw that. Even Steven mentioned it too. Yeah, and Camarillo is supposed to be below freezing. Oh yeah, Alan. Now I had heard that actually it was in the LA Times that here in Torrance we recorded our lowest record in years and years. So it was 39 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really cold for here. But again, that's just in the middle of the night. During the day, it's warmer again. Typical SoCal. But yeah, this is our coldest year in a while. But I don't mind it as long as I'm in the nice warm house. And I can walk around during the day in the nice sun. Oh yeah, Plasma 6. Cool. Yeah, that's going to be a game changer with the next release of Fedora, too. Yeah, Fraps Killer, it is 0 Celsius. I've learned Celsius really well being on Linux Gamecast because Ven is originally from Europe and Jordan's in Canada and Pedro's in England. So I learned the Celsius and Fahrenheit differences. On average here, it's 20 degrees Celsius here where I'm at. Yeah. Awesome. LT, cool. Moving your family to Kubuntu. Oh, nice. Yeah. See, that's a great use case for KDE. It's one of the reasons why the Steam Deck has done so well. I think they were really smart to choose the KDE desktop for the desktop. And Valve and the KDE collaborated. So that was another reason why it became so stable and so good, is because of that collaboration with Valve and plus just the KDE developers just making it really clean in the last couple of years. That's nice. Can again, congratulations. Yeah, they get to see a world without having to worry about, antiviruses and spyware and stuff. So nice. Turns out your system runs a lot better when that's not in there. And then just Linux in general being so memory efficient for older machines. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely went the Arch-based SteamOS 3. Hello, NetBSD Toaster.
I lost my headphones.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to KDE 6 too. Oh, you lost your headphones, Ben?
Yeah, because I put them in my new headphone rack.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mine go like literally under my legs here. I have about 6 headphones right here in a row.
I couldn't find them. I was like, where are they at?
Oh, that's right. Cute. Beer, I like that. That's a cute picture, cute GIF.
There we go.
Yeah, silly Ven putting things in a safe place. So true, Inertia.
Well, the stuff I got in this room, everything's in a safe place, my friend. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
When you're surrounded by tempered glass, everything's in a safe place. As much as I'm terrified of this desk, it has been a very good investment.
Yeah, alert, Mr. Alert. Yeah, in fact, I was just reading an article this morning in the LA Times. They said 1949 was the coldest on record here. Mm-hmm. But it's hit freezing before. It's just been a while.
Euthanasia, we talked a bit about that. We went like a whole conspiracy fanfic theory thing about the MSI claw RAR. Like who's going to be the first one to do it? If you want to listen to like all of our takes on how we think that's going to play out, we talked about that on Saturday's Linux Gamecast. For probably a good 15 minutes.
Make sure and watch it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Arthur, and I sure am. In fact, yeah. So I'm at the very end. There's only a little water left, and so next week I will have a new mug. It's taken me quite a few weeks to get through this one because I just use it for LWW and Trackmania. Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Euthanasia. Yeah, they did. I saw that announcement. But I didn't get a chance to read it, but I saw it.
Yeah. For anybody's curious, that's what I was throwing out. We kind of walked through that before they made that announcement. We walked through what we thought would happen when, not
They did.
Aya Neo, but any company releasing SteamOS, who's going to be the first, and like what the fallback or fallout might be from that. Cool.
It makes sense that it is Aya Neo, though. They've been around for a while.
Well, the big thing that, I'll touch on it real quick is everyone's thinking about, like, games compatible. The big thing, the big win for the general populace, again, Saturday we talked about it, was distribution. Because that's one of the things I brought up with MSI. MSI's got experience distributing to all the places that Valve doesn't.
Yeah.
We're sitting here chilling out in Western society going, yeah, we just order a Steam Deck. There's a large population, large chunks in different countries that can't get a Steam Deck. Because Valve does not ship there or offer support there. So,
like Australia.
Where these other companies
they
can offer that.
There. Yeah.
And
so that's cool.
SteamOS being able to put that out on different platforms, just in general, will be good.
Yeah, it's great for the ecosystem.
I was really hoping it was going to be the MSI, because the MSI is going to be Intel powered.
That's true.
I got to wait for my NVIDIA Steam Deck so I can be my NVIDIA shill self over here. All right. I think we are good. You want to pick a couple of your favorites on this kernel things?
Well, there's 3 there that are,
Because that's a lot to read out.
Well, the first couple are referring...
Do you got some that you just want to touch on?
Yeah.
Instead of reading all that out verbatim. The NVIDIA Steam Deck is the Switch. I don't know. We got some rumors about the Switch 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, I'll get rid of this.
NVIDIA show with an AMD CPU and an Intel NIC. Is that you, Katana? I got an NVIDIA network card too, man. What are you talking about? Like me? I got an NVIDIA GPU. I got NVIDIA network cards. I mean, technically, because I got these Mellanox cards. Yeah, Nursha, that's one of the things I'm very curious to see what they're going to take care of with the Switch 2. They're going to make that mucho difficult to emulate, I'm guessing. But I don't know. This is going to be interesting to see how far they can do it, because it's got to be compatible with the Switch 1 stuff too, right? All right. Cool. All right. Do I have everything open? All right. Yeah, we're good. You ready to go?
Okay, yes.
Let me get down to my record button on the Stream Deck. And I can press my magic button that starts all the recordings on all the software and all the PCs. Boop. There we go. And yeah, the outro. Cool. Let's go, everybody, in 3, 2. Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays where we sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux and open source. I'm Vince Stone, joined every week by Jill Bryant. Everybody, we're just hanging out in the pre-show. If you like to watch that and you want to catch the after show, you can always check us out on patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. But man, We got a lot to unpack this week. We got Linux kernels, ATI updates, Audacity's getting big brains with AI, and
Yeah.
somebody tried to use a Raspberry Pi for like 2 weeks and made a fatal mistake. But
Yes.
Jill was very excited. One of your favorite games got a fan-made mod that came out Saturday
Yeah.
previously, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a Portal Revolution, and it's a great mod that has a standalone game on Steam, and it is just actually so nice to be playing Portal again, especially after playing all the other mods. I'd gone through every other mod, and I was waiting for something new, so I was excited about that. And as you can see, Portal is my favorite game. Portal and Portal 2 games of all time. I got a Portal Cube right behind me, so. And here's my turret. I see you. No, I just love Portal. I like first-person puzzlers. And I've also been really enjoying CES 2024 coverage. There's been lots of good announcements. Some
That's
of
been going
which,
on, hasn't it?
yeah. So some are things that they announced last year, but now we're actually going to see them, out in the public. Like, for instance, ASUS is finally launching motherboards with connectors on the back. And actually, they're also announced GPUs with the new power connector on the PCI rail. So in order, of course, to do that, they have to make a motherboard which is compatible with that connector. And you will have to buy that ASUS GPU with the motherboard if you want the connector on the rail. But if you don't, you could still use the card, like you do in any other build, and install it, and then use. They were going to have some other connector for it too, so you could put it in any case, so in any motherboard. But anyways, that's really cool. And also, I was impressed with the ASUS ZenBook Duo dual display OLED laptop. And what's really cool about it is the bottom side has a keyboard that you can snap on one of the laptop screens. And if you don't want to use it in laptop mode, you can pop off the keyboard and use it externally for a dual monitor setup on the go. I think that is really cool. That's something that I personally have been looking for, and that was an ingenious invention and way to do it. I love it.
That's pretty neat. It'll be interesting to playing around with a bunch of, especially like with the new 12-volt power setup.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago on Linux Gamecast. Like, I want that to take off, and I don't like the idea of custom motherboards, though, but if we could all decide on like a new way to build put all the connectors on the back, if we could just get that, but that's wrangling the kittens, isn't it?
It
is. Get all the different manufacturers to
and that's what, yeah, they talked about. Actually, that there was a really good vlog. Paul's Hardware did a good breakdown, because the ASUS guy went into detail with him on how they're going to accomplish that, and how they're getting the case manufacturers to make sure to have cases that fit this motherboard. So it's pretty cool. They're working it out, and it's supposed to be out this coming quarter. So
nice.
It's here.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good to see. CES is always kind of interesting. I saw that Razer, we were talking about that Trackmania. We were playing last night, testing out some new maps. If you're looking for something to do on Tuesdays, come join us. Is Razer's releasing a haptic cushion that you can put in your gaming chair, and the developers can target the device and make it massage you on your back and legs.
Or on one side of your bottom.
I hope it has RGB, because I want to look down and look like I'm glowing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, it's neat because we've had haptic feedback cushions before. They've been around. Honestly, I have a really old one from like 10 years ago, but it's just now they have awareness in the cushion. So it's kind of like, I was thinking about it, and it's kind of like having Dolby Atmos in the cushion, so they can actually control what side of it you're going to feel vibrate. So it's like the vibration version of music.
Yeah. I'm sure they will sell two, possibly three of them.
Yeah.
They've had things like that. They've had like Vest and all the different ways of.
Yes.
The problem is the developer support, like getting somebody to target that for a game. You might get a game that takes advantage of it, and of course they'll have like the generic plugin that'll it'll shake you on one side.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Speaking of games, something that I'm kind of enjoying playing is Immortal Phoenix Rising, I think is the name of the game.
Oh, neat. Neat.
Immortals Phoenix Rising. It is as soon as I bring it up, people go, oh yeah, the Zelda game, apparently, because they really did a palette swap on Zelda. I mean, it really looks like, I haven't not played a modern Zelda game, but it's like Zelda with a Greek mythology attached into it. It's an Ubisoft. It was like 90% off, so it's like $4 or $5 on the store. It's got some jokes in it, though. I'll give them credit. I've just been looking for something to play in the background, and I posted in our Discord where about 2 hours in, you get the traditional, if you've ever played Assassin's Creed, right? You get the title screen a couple hours into the game. Like,
yes.
You think you're deep into the game, and it's like, hey, the game just started.
Yeah.
Like right at the 2 hour mark, you get that. And the characters that are in the background talking are like, wait, now we get that. It's got that fourth wall breaking. So.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah. That's
and listen,
really cool.
I got my personal, I've said some very strong stuff about Ubisoft, but I don't want to take it away from like the writers who did this on, like, they did a good job with this game, but I think
sounds very meta.
it brings its jokes, Jill.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see that. One thing I did on Saturday, though, I told everybody, like right before the show, and I told everybody I was working on it last week, getting ready to roll it out, is the Interfacing Linux Web Zone. Now, I want to put together a site for all of our Linux-compatible hardware, audio stuff, video stuff, all the software. How do you get digital audio workstations? How do you get your OBS stuff? How do you get your capture cards, your audio interfaces? You name it, all in one place. And I wanted to make it slick, responsive, looking good, something Linux users can go to and be proud of. So I've been rolling that out. And I lit up the forums.
Cool. Yes.
Saturday. I'm like, okay, don't break it, but just go and see if you can get the registration. Oh man, I said that on Saturday and somebody immediately like clapped back on me on Sunday.
Oh no.
They hit me with an email and they're like, well, I'm not going to be able to, I don't know how they were able to type with this much tinfoil wrapped around them. They're not going to register because of WordPress and all privacy concerns.
Geez.
And I'm like,
yeah.
All right, first off, all of our websites are self-hosted. Like they're not at WordPress.com. Nobody's taking your data bits except me.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to keep them safe. And you don't have to worry about any of that. But if you do want to head over there, it is up. It is up. That's our Interfacing Web Zone. For our video listeners, audio listeners, I'm at interfacinglinux.com. We got the categories put together. It's reasonably responsible. There's a bunch of stuff that I still need to catch and I still need to fix, but it should pop up and have all of the information. And I'm porting a lot of this stuff and you're like, wait a minute, where did all this content come from? This is stuff I've been doing for years that a lot of people had no idea about because it was on a Linux gaming site. And here it is. It's something that you can search, stick together, but more importantly, something that Linux Gamecast was never designed for. This is interactive. So not only do we have comments, we have a forum.
Yes.
The forum's, all of it's integrated. And my new favorite person in the world this morning, Team Linux 01, has already, because I have a place for site feedback. This is where I want people to head right now. If you get a chance, he, she, them, they've been going through like, hey, this is broken. This is broken. This is broken. And I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, nice.
Stuff that I want to see. But the forums are going to have spots for video, audio, all the basic stuff that you might run into being a content creator on Linux and questions that you might have. And I want to have a, not Discord server, not on Reddit or whatever, collection, database, ad-free, just that knowledge base of what works on Linux and different problems, something that you can search through. And it won't be kludgy or clunky and, I've been meaning to do this I went back and checked. I said I was going to do this 3 years ago.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it then.
I'm like,
Yeah.
we're going to get going. And, well, here we are. Here we are. There's still a lot of work to be done. The stuff I am moving over to interfacing Linux, it's taking a while because it's a very manual process. And also I'm updating all of this stuff. Because guess what? Linux changes pretty quick.
Yes.
And
And
even
that's a wonderful thing.
something I did like 6 or 7 months ago, I'm like, oh, we need to go ahead and update that and make it modern. So I want that resource to be available for everybody. If you do get a chance, and see if you can sign up, if you want to make sure you get your username and take a look around, see if anything's broken, and let me know in the site feedback on the forums, or if you have questions. One thing I will promise you, until my dying day, if you're like, hey, I got a question for you. And, I've been doing shows on Linux with streaming. I've learned a lot over the past 13 years. By no means am I the expert or definitive source, but I do know a lot. So if you do post a question about something, I will respond to you there. I give you my guarantee, and hopefully other people will too. Who knows? You build it, maybe they'll come, maybe not, but at least you got to try. So interfacinglinux.com, go check it out, and check it out on mobile. That was something I forgot today. That was a notification. It's like, the logo is not mobile responsive. I'm like, correct. Let me fix that. So now it is. Little things like that I'm not going to catch. And if you have questions about audio, video, software, capture cards, single board computers, or if you just want to post pictures of ships.
Yep, which I did. The Starship Enterprise.
We have a dedicated forum just for ship posting. So if you want to do some ship posts, we got it. And plenty of ships up and going. There's Jill.
Yeah.
There it is.
And by the way, Ven, I actually did create my account on mobile, on my cell phone.
It should work relatively well on mobile.
Yeah.
With the forum software and with what passes for a theme, it's not correct to call it a theme. I spent some money.
Yeah.
And the forum's very neat. The software with the plugins that we're using, because it allows me to mark stuff very GitHub-y as like fixed, won't fixed, or investigating, and to keep track of things like that. And I want that resource there because I don't like things getting memory hold in Discord. We don't know what's going to happen to Reddit. And like, hey, let's just get everything in one spot and see if it works. But yeah, there you go. Interfacinglinux.com should be going live Friday. And by live, I mean I'm going to feed the sitemap to the Googles and the Bings and the Ducks and everything. I think DuckDuckGo just does their own thing. Let's have some fun. And there we go. I'm definitely going to be kind of like and for a couple more weeks until things.
Yeah, you're going to be really busy.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's get into it. We got a kernel out. Kernel 6.7. It's official, not an unofficial, not a bootleg release. You don't have to go buy this kernel in a back alley.
Yeah.
Somebody who looks a little bit shady. You got to watch out with the penguins in the trench coats.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So on Sunday, once again, Linus Torvalds, the creator of Linux, released Linux kernel 6.7. And it's actually one of the largest yet. And it has major new features and fixes. And Linus himself states 6.7 is, in number of commits, over 17,000 non-merge commits with 1,000 plus merges. And it's, yes, one of the largest kernel releases we've ever had. So this was pretty cool. And so there's so many features to talk about, but we can't talk about them all. We could spend the whole episode just talking about Linux kernel updates. So some of the big news here is we have support for a new file system, and I haven't heard it pronounced yet, but I believe it's Bcache FS. Does that sound right, Ben?
No, it's pronounced Stefan.
Yeah. So Bcache FS is a copy on write file system, which is supposed to be safer than Btrfs and faster than ZFS, which will be fun to experiment with and find out. And in addition to the new file system, Bcache-FS, there was also work done on improving ButterFS, ZFS, ext4, and even the older ext2 file system, which I was really happy to hear about because I know people who run old servers with ext2, so...
You know what? If you're running ext2 and you're running a non-journal file system, you deserve everything you get.
Yeah.
I grew up with this stuff, man. ext2 power outage.
Was horrible.
My brain immediately went back to this was my first year in uni.
Yeah.
Breaker got flipped. Lost an entire Linux box.
Yeah.
Power off. I could not recover the file system. It was just bork. You know, these were things you dealt with. So if you're running
dead, Jim.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And kernel 6.7 also features the newly added NVIDIA GPU system processor firmware, which actually includes better power management and performance increases for RTX 20 and RTX 30 series GPUs running the proprietary NVIDIA drivers. And actually, this is what a lot of us Linux users are very, very excited about. The new NVIDIA GPU system processor firmware increases performance of the latest RTX 40 series GPUs using the Nouveau open source graphics device drivers for NVIDIA cards. Yeah, this is something we've been waiting for. Of course, these are just the beginning steps, but at least it's coming.
We did throw down. I mean, this kernel is going to allow the GSP firmware, and we've talked about that a couple of times, to actually get loaded for your 20, 30, and 40 series NVIDIA GPUs, which is going to enable something that you can look at it as performance. You know, if you've been running the Nouveau drivers, you do know one of the downsides is the clocking utility. Because you more than likely your GPU is just running at full tilt, powered on, 100%. Let's go, like in the old days. This is going to allow the NVIDIA GPUs for the 20, 30, and 40 series to do regular clocking like you'd get with the binary driver. So if it's not doing anything, it's going to unwind. However, I mean, we've talked about it on Linux Gamecast, from the NVK. If you're thinking you're going to install this and you're going to start go and play some video games, and unless you're looking for a new hobby to experiment with stuff that kind of, sort of works sometimes, don't rush out just yet. So keep things tempered. I don't want anybody listening to the show. It's like, boom, I'm going to blow away my NVIDIA install and set this up. If you do, set it up on a spare box to play around with it like we used to back in the day.
Yeah. And maybe practice playing those, AAA titles on it and seeing actually what the numbers are, which are probably not very good. But there's also native support for Intel Meteor Lake graphics, which is really wonderful for people with laptops featuring that first generation Core Ultra processors. And another big thing, and this was important to me because I do have an Asus ZenBook. If you have an Asus ZenBook laptop circa 2022 and 2023 and, had a really hard time getting the Cirrus CS3 14.1 audio amplifier working on Linux, well, the Cirrus developers made a commit in the Linux kernel so that there'll be better support for the chipset and you should hear audio now through the speakers. That's really awesome. So I'm looking forward to getting this new kernel, installing it on my 2022 Asus ZenBook. Yay.
I'm happy. You know what? Kernel 6.1 was good enough for Debian 12, so it's good enough for me. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to sit here and run that and wait. If wacky kids want to run out and get this set up, it's always good to see new stuff throw up into the 6 series. And the NVIDIA stuff for me is very interesting because I want a viable open source stack for the NVIDIA drivers. I think that'll be a lovely day when we don't have to worry about that. You just pop a card in. Doesn't matter if you get Intel. Doesn't matter if you have AMD or even Team Green.
Yeah.
You just pop that in, cut the system on. You're just good to go because it's a completely different experience. For example, if you have an AMD GPU and you just want to get up in gaming, if you're on Arch and Ubuntu and Debian, whatever, I know on Debian, you put it in, you do apt install Steam after enabling contrib. That's it. Everything's taken care of. on NVIDIA, you're in for a journey.
Yeah.
You're in for a journey. And if you're not very, reasonably familiar with Linux, it's going to get you
Take a bit.
side-wheeled real quick. I
Yeah.
realize that as I'm currently doing a guide for everything you needed to know but were too afraid to ask for installing NVIDIA binary drivers in CUDA on Debian 12, including real-time kernels. And, just stuff that you don't think about, from 30 years of using Linux. When you start writing that stuff down, you're like, no wonder people get lost in the weeds real quick. And being able to just have that work out of the box is going to be very neat.
So incredible. And yes, Linux Predator in chat asked, did they say Cirrus devs? Yes, the Cirrus chipsets that we've been using for years. They do a lot of development with the Linux sound drivers. So it's really cool.
Pretty nice. Now, blast from the past. Maybe you have a vintage GPU collection.
Yeah. So if you still have an older ATI Radeon video card from the early 2000s running in a machine, well, chances are, like mine, it still works great on Linux. But with recent updates and patches from the open source community coming soon, it will work even better. And it will be supported on modern Linux distros, which is awesome. And in this quarter, the open source Mesa 24.0 graphics library will include the driver updates for ATI's R300 through R500 series of Radeon GPUs. And by the end of the year, you'll be able to use the new drivers on your ancient ATI video card. And there are probably lots of servers and old computers around still running them. I actually have 2 computers with old ATI cards in them that are running. So it makes me happy. But I think this is really great that the community kind of took this over and making sure to update these cards.
Somebody was sitting around looking for a problem one weekend.
Yeah.
That's how this is going. Because, this is a 22-year-old GPU. Now, there's been variations, laptop iterations of this particular architecture on down the road. R3000 through not 3000. Listen to me, R300.
100, yeah.
R500. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting little bit of a surprise that they got, man. So a dude named Pavel, what this does is it's going to move most of the remaining backend lowering over to Near. So that's your shader compiler stack, effectively, to drastically oversimplify things. At the end of the day, the card should go burr slightly better. I saw people bring up efficiency and they're like, it'll be more efficient. I'm like, well, about as efficient as a 22-year-old GPU could ever dream of being, which is not much. So it's still fun to see stuff like this, right?
It really is. That's the beauty of Linux, keeping the old hardware going. And even when old hardware, like floppy drives get deprecated from the Linux kernel, the community comes in and creates a new one.
Now, if Linux could just figure out how to do that with software, we'd be in good shape, wouldn't we?
Yeah. A floppy drive software, I meant.
No, just software in general. Go try to play a Loki game from 20 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's that. I have actually almost every Loki title on CD.
I got them in boxes. We need to take pictures and see who has the most.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you might have heard of our next story topic. It's a little program called Audacity.
Yes.
Wave editor. Been around forever. And it's cross-platform. So, you might have used it on Windows. You might have used it on Mac. You might have used it on, SGI IRIX, HP UX, OS 400, even Windows. Quite possibly. Well, there's a new tool for it. This story is from It's Foss. All this is going to be in our show notes if you want to go back and take a look at it. AI tools are here for open source audio editor. Audacity, now equipped with AI tools. Say AI again in the title. I dare you. I dare you. Oh, Intel has released some AI-powered plugins. This is using their OpenVINO. And what do we get? A couple of different things in this. You get music separation plugin, a style remix plugin, noise suppression plugin, and one that's kind of interesting, a music prompt generation plugin. So you can Make some sick tunes, man, or an ill beat, and you'll get something that sounds like a cat in a refuse bin being rolled down a hill, probably. But it's going to be there. And of course, Whisper for transcribing spoken word, or, just generating lyrics, however you want to play around with it. Now, all you need to get this up and running, unfortunately, is Intel, because OpenVINO only speaks to Intel. And no, I mean, that's what it is. So if you get and I couldn't find out if this even works with ARC GPUs. The best I can tell is I know for 100% that this is going to work with a recent generation Intel CPU. It will probably work with their NPU and GPU stacks. The source, of course, is available with Linux build instructions. So that is there. And I want to say more power to those of you sticking with Audacity, because I didn't after, I stuck around for a while after Muse picked it up. And about 9 months into that experiment, when Muse decided they were going to turn what was otherwise a perfectly serviceable waveform editor into a really, 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 really bad digital audio workstation, I cut it out of my toolchain completely. And that was not, Audacity was part of recording Linux Gamecast, Weekly Daily Wednesdays for a better part of a decade. And it just got to the part where it was unreliable. And I can't be part of this, man. Like once they get it figured out, maybe. But I'm going to say good on Intel. Open source audio plugins. And good on the Audacity team for, making sure everything is going to work. And if you have an Intel system and you want to play around with AI, TM, like everything's AI, man, I'm waiting for AI toasters.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be hilarious. It's, yeah. And, this is actually really exciting news. And honestly, Ven, I was waiting for Audacity to have some sort of, AI implementation coming in the future. I knew it was going to happen eventually.
Yeah, it's completely pointless, but here it is.
Yeah. So I figured transcription was coming soon, but music generation per genre, I really wasn't expecting. This could be another good source for music for podcasts and YouTuber videos and vlogs. I think that was just so cool that you could generate music within Audacity. And it makes sense because a lot of musicians that, are still using it and do use it. And I actually use Audacity on a weekly basis as a local recording of my mic for podcasts. And I'm really looking forward to playing with these new AI tools. It's going to be fun.
It is, again, I'll say interesting because plugin support was one of the things that has made the current Audacity so radically unstable and spite crashy.
Okay.
But then again, you're looking at Audacity, and let's go back to what it is. It's baby's first audio editor. When somebody's getting started, and why is it that? Because it does what it says on the tin. You load it up and you hit the thing that looks like a record button. It starts recording your voice.
Yeah.
They got that right. And that's how a lot of people start with it. And it's not where you want to stay for any amount of time if you're doing any serious like podcast music, but you've already figured that out if you're into those genres of things. But I mean, it's there. Go play with it. Report back. If I had an Intel CPU capable of playing with it, I would do some A/B testing, but I don't because, I'm an NVIDIA shill, so I have a bunch of AMD CPUs. Have fun with that. Ladies and gentlemen, next is, Jill, do you have your Raspberry Pi ready to hold up to the camera?
No, actually I don't, because it's in a project right now. So I didn't want to take it apart and bring it in.
Jill's finally plugged a Raspberry Pi into something.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
news.
Well, I've been using it.
Good news. Why are we talking about Raspberry Pis? Well, Andrew has wrote a little story about his adventure, his journey over at Ars Technica, what he learned from using a Raspberry Pi 5 as his main computer for not one, no, that's peasant rookie numbers, 2 weeks. And yeah, you got to think about it. Like, you could almost get away with using Raspberry Pi 4 as a desktop. Yeah, everybody's played around with it. I'm sure if you get a Raspberry Pi 4 and you plugged it in, you're like, all right, you kind of browse with it. I mean, it was close. It was close enough to where it would make you a little angry if like it was just a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And that's what Andrew wanted to find out. Can't say I blame him. So what do you do? Well, he decided to take this Pepsi challenge, and again, 2 full weeks. And I got all the way through the article, but I had to back up because something was bugging me. It's like I got it set up, and I went ahead and put Ubuntu on it, but I kept having problems with Chromium, and I couldn't listen to Spotify. I'm like, uh, why are you listening to Spotify through
Oh.
Chromium? Then I went back and reread it, and it's like, well, because Spotify, there's no app for Spotify on the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, there are several that you can run.
Not making this up. This is here. Now, this is somebody who describes themselves as, in his words, advanced beginner range. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Finn, this is this is an x86. I'm like, you're right, but you're running Ubuntu, Raspberry Pi. How did you not find the first Google result?
Yeah.
The first DuckDuckGo, the first Bing result for Spotify Raspberry Pi, which is a snap from Ubuntu on Snapcraft, where you just click install, my man.
Yeah.
I don't.
There's also a command line version too of a Spotify player that works really well.
Yes, but this is people who actually want to use something, not play with it exactly one time and never use it again.
Yeah.
So, this, the rest of the article was a predictable tragedy of user errors. And I kind of checked out at that point because, you can refer to yourself as an advanced beginner. There's a reason I'm bringing all this up, but you can't come into Linux with the I got this, bro, or I got this sis mentality. It doesn't work like that. You will always have a experience very similar to what our friend Andrew had. Just, why isn't this working? I don't get why this isn't working. Well, what did you do? Well, I applied what I knew about Windows to it, or Mac to it, and I couldn't get it to work. That's the moral of the story. Linux users, we are going to be able to get away using Raspberry Pi 5 as a desktop replacement in a bench. We could get away with it. Why? Because we're going to Google stuff. We're going to find stuff. You need that mentality to use Linux. You have to be curious and willing to do some searching because all the answers are out there. But we also have realistic expectations of an ARM single board computer. And we all enjoy a good troubleshooting session. We do. However, for my brothers and sisters out there running Windows or Mac users, and you want that out-of-box experience. Now, this ends kind of positive, but and by positive, I mean, he says, why don't you go buy an x86 and 100 x86 system instead of a Raspberry Pi? And that's positive, I guess, for him. But if you want to play with the magic dark arts that is ARM, you need to get an Android tablet or Chromebook because that's where an advanced beginner should start their journey with Linux if they're not going to do the part B of the equation. And when you say Linux is not ready, that's what a lot of people mean.
Yeah.
Because it will not survive contact with confidence based on nothing. Linux is a advanced, complex operating system. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the reasons I push back a lot when we really try to dumb that interface down to make it super user-friendly, because it's still going to break. And if you don't teach the user at least some, a rudimentary understanding of what's under that and how to at least begin the troubleshooting process, they're just going to wipe it and reinstall Windows.
Yeah.
That's what happens. That's what really happens. So
true.
My advice for Andrew is to get your Pi back out. Get back on whatever search engine you decide you want to use. Answer these questions because everything in there has got a solution to it. And you're going to learn so much more on that you can use in so many other things. This is one of the beautiful things about Linux. You don't want Linux to just work. Maybe you do. Yeah. Again, buy a Chromebook.
Yeah. It's the Tinkerer's OS. That's you want to learn your operating system. You want to get in the guts of it. You want to play around with it. That's what makes Linux so much fun and exciting when you achieve the goals of figuring how to how to do something in the terminal or in GUI. It's part of the fun of using Linux. And it's special. It's not meant to be the, Windows, here it is, use it,
Linux.
It can be, but
Microsoft
it doesn't
Windows
have to
has
be.
been designed to function for the least common denominator.
Yeah.
This is the joke I like to make. And I'm deadly serious when I'm making the joke because it's not a joke. When I hear somebody say, I'm a Windows desktop expert, and I'm like, are you really good at clicking next buttons? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
And it doesn't work both ways, though, because with Windows being really good, I mean, all things considered, like a reasonably functional operating system that most people can just sit and kind of pick their way through and figure out, right?
Yeah.
Linux isn't that. You can't just sit and figure it out. So I think that is an advantage Windows has on Linux, because you can take somebody, you can sit and pick and poke, but you're so limited in your options.
Yeah. Well, like you've said in the past, Vin, and it's so true, you had to learn Windows at some point. It didn't just naturally come to you.
I just knew how to use Windows.
Yes.
I figured it out 30 seconds after I got the computer on. I was making my own applications.
Yeah.
And
So you have to learn Linux and its little quirks. That's what makes it, makes it amazing is the open source element. Make it what you want.
Or learn how to use a different operating system.
Yeah, exactly. Use Mac OS or Windows.
Oh man. I don't know. This was a very interesting article that ended with just go buy a x86 system so I can install Windows on it.
I know. I understood. So he had some really good points. Like for instance, it was hard for him to get the Widevine and everything working out of the box. Well, it does work out of the box on Raspberry Pi OS. It just doesn't on like Ubuntu and whatnot. So, but there's ways around that, and there were ways to figure out how to get it to work and download a Spotify app.
I think again, my entire argument, right or wrong, hinges on you had Ubuntu installed and you didn't find the Spotify desktop app, which is a snap.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even like snaps, but to the point of you just click the button and it shows up.
It's in the software center. Yes.
That was my touchstone for the rest of the article. I'm like, yeah. But at the end of the day, use what works for you. I'm a bit of a Linux zealot, but my days of going around knocking on doors, excuse me, sir, excuse me, madam, could I interest you in a free copy of Ubuntu?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not trying to get people. I'm here to help people that are interested in running Linux.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to get you to switch. I'm not trying to, convince me, Vin. No.
Mm-hmm.
All right, beautiful people. That's going to do it for this episode. If you like what we do, you want to get some bonus things, because we're about to go into the after show, you want a copy of that in podcast format, you want to watch the video a week early, head over to patreon.com/Linux Gamecast, pick a level. Then you can hop into our Discord. You can come play Trackmania with us on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
Bunch of other bonus things I like to throw in as well. Thanking you for your support.
Yay.
Go check it out if you get a chance. But that's going to wrap us up for this week. And hey, go check out interfacinglinux.com. We're getting started on a whole new thing. It's probably going to be a wild ride. Buckle up.
Exciting.
We'll see you there. Let's do some credits, Joe.
Yeah. We have lots of beautiful people to thank, including our advisors, Omegas and Artharian. Our Artharian's in chat right now. Our executive producers, Barbrandt, Scott M, Atomic. Our Chicago Kicks people, Empty, Blasphemia, Nubbin, Super Dust Tout. And our Sea Monsters, Veritunina, Justin, Hakeem, David, Darkwing, System T. And our Death Notes, Benjamin, Doom 2 Wad, Stephen B, Dirty Dean. And our chairlings, Douglas H, Thomas T, Beastwig.
You got to focus on one a week, then we can do a supercut and you'll have the entire thing down for the chairlings.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
There we go.
Yeah, Arthurian, whoop whoop.
Whoop the shoop, fam. All right, where's my record? Stop. There we go. Hey.
Aw, thank you, Linux Predator. Thank you for joining us.
So I need help finding the eSATA drive for the incorrect thing that was sent to me. This thing. And by that, I don't... If anybody knows for sure... So this is an eSATA dock from Dell, an external dock, which has an eSATA connector on one end, and the other end is more eSATA, but Dell proprietary clicky. It is the eMedia Bay.
Ah.
And traditionally, you would slide a drive into it. You know, a DVD burner. A burner, like whatever, as long as it reads DVDs. Anything else it does on top of that, but I need to find a drive for it. I don't need to.
Okay.
Like, this has been given to me because I contacted the seller. This was supposed to be an external DVD drive, USB, and instead I got an eSATA dock without a drive in it. But I don't even know if Dell sells the drives. This could just be like a part replacement from Dell.
Yeah, that's possible.
So if anybody knows, I couldn't hit me up. No guesswork, please. If you're Googling it right now, don't send me the information. If you are in a Dell shop, like that's why I was picking Pedro's brain, and you're like, I can look that up, or I have a part number for you, hit me up. I would really appreciate it.
That's sad that you got the wrong thing, though, because those USB external CD-ROMs are like $20.
Oh, they are. Like, that was $6.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a USB DVD drive, and but now I'm interested because now I can make the project even more squirrely by like, let's use an eSATA DVD drive, and we can plug in an eSATA card into a Linux machine and see how that works. Which it should just work, but I don't know. I don't think I've ever had an eSATA device.
Yeah.
That was always one of those things of like, that's neat. Nothing ever used that though. Oh, that's what I'm more curious about. Like if somebody can, like, here's a drive that works for it and then slide in for a few bucks, like, all right, well, I'll go buy an eSATA card. And, but if not, like, I'm not going to lose sleep. I didn't pay anything for it. That thing's going in the rubbish bin.
I have an external eSATA drive from years ago. That's all I've played with it. Haven't tried CD-ROMs.
Inertia, I appreciate it, but I'm not into the... I can make it work, Bren. I can make it work. That's not the question. I just want to know if I can get a drive to slide into that thing. Because then I got a spare drive too. We're not going for the engineered solution to this. Also, I'd have to like cut that thing up because it doesn't use a regular SATA. Yeah, it's Dell's proprietary junk, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's eSATA on one end and whatever Dell came up with on the other.
Yeah.
Like at that point, I'm like, why don't you just buy a whole different enclosure? I'm like, okay, I've tried to not throw this away because there's no way nobody will take that. Nobody wants an empty eSATA Dell enclosure. Oh, man.
Yeah, Mir, it's possible I do too, because I have a lot of, so many Dell machines as well, and that have the eSATA devices in them.
All I need is a part number.
What CD bomb works with it? Used to call them CD bombs, when especially in the late 90s, early 2000s, when the quality went down and it started having issues. Oh boy, we called them CD bombs.
I like how Joe goes with like the Wii thing. Like Joe called them CD bombs.
Well,
I'd never heard of CD bomb.
Yeah.
That's what
Well, it was a term we used here. A lot of the techs we used it at
in your area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was our thing. I used to say that at school too, and everyone would laugh.
CD-ROMs get interesting when they started getting up to like 30x and they turned into dustbusters.
Yeah.
You could have a
It got so loud.
cataclysmic explosion. If you had a crack in a CD-ROM and exploded, it would just eat it apart. I've witnessed that.
Mhm.
There's something getting spindled and spooled and then dissecting the drive just shredded everything inside of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Amir, you haven't heard it either. Part of it is you had to be a little bit older. That's the thing. I actually think I heard the term from my brother, who was working at Sun at the time. Oh, another CD-ROM died. CD-bomb. It was funny.
All right. Let me check mail and see if the world has exploded while we were doing a little bit of a show here. Hopefully nothing crazy. Hey.
Yeah, so true, Katana.
Let's head over to... I got a new forum post. Yay! Let's go see. What's in forums? Go to general discussion. Hey, my new favorite person's back.
Mm-hmm.
A little hard to sign up for the site.
Okay.
I have no idea how to get back to the profile page. Oh, right. They are on mobile, aren't they?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm not logged in.
I'd have to get my phone and look, but I got back to the profile without an issue.
I cheat. I just do that. Return one of my tablets. The problem is all of my tablets are like 2K tablets now, so it doesn't... Hey, Dak. Dak signed up. Cool.
Oh,
All right.
good, Dak.
Interfacing Linux. All right. Yeah, that's just what I want. I want all the stuff that's wrong. I want this for all of us to look super slick and professional and be very like hyper informative.
Oh, then there's a question on YouTube.
Okay.
Let's see what it says. Zoom in. Okay, it's Jamscan. He said, whatever happened with that one guy developing capability for the Focusrite 4i4 for Linux? Literally.
Focusrite, get in contact with him. He's good.
Okay.
Like, Focusrite, I talked about it on the show. They showed up and they're like, hey, man, why don't you give us a call? We'll make sure we're going to send you some hardware.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now I remember. So he said, where can I happily donate money to this guy?
Yeah, just Google the 4i4. You'll find it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I am always happy to help, but I'm not going to Google it for you.
Yay.
Is the forum going to have a category for SBCs? I don't know. Maybe. If enough people post, like, anything that doesn't have one thing I don't like to do, if you've been in our Discord, you know for very well I don't like to do is, because how many times have you been in like a Discord or a Matrix chat, and they have 1,100 different channels for stuff, right? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Just dozens of like little categories, and they're all empty with nobody talking in them. That makes it just look completely dead. And that's why we have a live channel in our Discord, and we have a general in our Discord to keep the topics focused right there. Now, what breaks out from that is if a bunch of people are discussing one topic, here we go, Old Man Vin's telling you how to do community management. Once you get enough of a topic, and then to justify adding that sort of a very long Pedro-esque answer to your question there, Arthur, is if enough people talk about SBCs in general, just the regular Linux area, then yes, one will get added.
You probably will eventually get questions about using audio on SBCs. And that makes sense.
And I'll probably pick up, eventually get around to picking up a like Rock Pi and things like that, because I think I want to take like an Orange Pi 5 and see if I can turn it into a serviceable-ish digital audio workstation.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah, I figured you'd be doing that when you got a 5.
Not a Raspberry Pi 5.
Mm. Oh, okay. What did you say?
Orange Pi.
Okay. Orange Pi.
We'll get a big beefy SBC.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good. I would say good night, Inertia, but it's like 7 o'clock in the morning for you.
Yeah. He's
whatever.
in Canada.
New Zealand.
Oh, yeah. He's the New Zealand guy, not the Canadian guy.
The Canadian one's Jordan.
Well, yeah, of course. But we have other people in our
I know,
Discord
Jill.
forum.
I know that was a joke.
Yeah.
RBN. Yeah, Jordan's got one of those too. I don't know, like that. Those look fun to play with, but those are like a little too raw around the edges right now with like the development. Like those are Tinker devices. Like the Orange Pi is still very much a Tinker device too, but like the ecosystem's a little bit better. It's like I said, one of the reasons they can like Raspberry Pi is very much turned into an appliance. Like you just buy it and you just get the software. You don't really have to worry about it. You buy the Raspberry Pi if you just want to do a thing off the shelf and like like the Tinker aspect, of the old days of like what the Raspberry Pi was like 5 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where you're always following and tinkering, and, new things are getting added. That's kind of where the Orange Pi is right now. But I want to be able to contribute to that ecosystem too, because the more, the better. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's the gold standard, man. Like, then again, like what I said about the Raspberry Pi 5, like if you can get one, now they're starting to get in pretty good stock. They're reasonably priced too, man. Like the Pi 5's a pretty good piece of hardware for the price.
Yeah.
And you got that ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Oh boy, I got stuff coming to me in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
I went on an eBay ordering spree. Not even an ordering spree. I went on an eBay bidding spree.
Oh, okay.
I do that sometimes. My magic price for things are $9.99. I've been desperately trying to buy an audio interface for $9.99 for over 2 months. In that process, I've gotten a lot of audio interfaces for like $6 and $3 and $2.99. I've not managed to get one for $9.99 yet.
Oh, that's funny.
Because I need one for $9.99 for a joke I'm doing in a video.
Okay, I see.
And I need to be able to prove that I spent $9.99 on the interface. And if I can't do it, I can't make the joke. And that's more important to me than everything else, apparently. Ah, man. Yeah. Oh, man, I had somebody, he was really angry with me. Really angry with me because I did that Lethal Company. We're playing Lethal Company in the after show.
Oh, yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Get a bunch of mods. I made a video about how to get that up and modded. That video's doing gangbusters for,
cool.
A Linux video for one game and how to do mods. And it's got a couple thousand views on it, but somebody couldn't get it to work on their Steam Deck. And it was like all caps.
Oh.
And it was like, this is bullshit. This doesn't work on Steam Deck. And, I had to write him back. I'm like, who said it did?
Yeah.
I don't remember saying it worked on a Steam Deck anytime in that video or anywhere in the guide that I wrote for it. Didn't bring Steam Deck up once.
Yeah. Huh.
My point being is you got to realize that your Steam Deck is a Steam Deck. It's not a Linux PC. It's running Linux. You got to jump through some hoops, do things differently in your Steam Deck, but you should probably already know that if you have a Steam Deck. Anybody with a Steam Deck is like, yeah, you got to do things, because it's a mutable file system and you got to open it up and you got to use maybe an app image.
So Mir found it for you, Ven. Cool, Mir. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I'm seeing words should in that. Like I said, if anybody's got a part number for one that they know that works, while I appreciate doing the research, I've already did all the Google searching and stuff. That's why I'm asking. If somebody's got one, they can pop out of one of those drives and give me the part number for it. I would appreciate it. Yeah, Sandy, I saw you post that on Mastodon.
Nice, Sandman.
I want to see how big that thing is.
Yeah, that does look big.
Let me see. Here it is. The 2.4G. I can't use that in the studio, though. Can't use 2.4 in here.
It'll interfere with your keyboard, probably.
It'll interfere with my mouse.
Oh, okay.
Which struggles being right next to the receiver in the studio.
Oh, okay.
Because everything, all the lighting in here, so I got 7 bulbs all running on 2.4. That spectrum is corrupted in here. Yeah, it's probably not that big. Oh. I mean, they need to have it next to a life-size blow-up Antonio Banderas doll, so I'll be able to get a idea. I never had a Saturn controller. I had the 6-button Mega Drive controller. That's pretty slick looking, though. I like it. It's got the little dual analogs on it. Cool. All right, beautiful people. Get anything else going on? I got to go turn all this into a podcast. I'm going to take that as a no. Retro. I don't know if I've heard of Retrobit. RondoProducts.com. I'm sure they make a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah, JampScan. Actually, we have lots of new Linux users in our Discord forum and who play Trackmania with us.
Thank you, Sandy. GDQ. Oh, yeah, I'm interested in GDQ because there's going to be some Liza P speedrunning going on. And I've been following the 2 people that I know of that are doing it. I know one of them is going to be doing his speedrun at GDQ for Liza V. It's going to be interesting to see that because I've been able to watch that from day one as people were figuring out speedrunning strats and different ways to break it. Starts on Sunday. All right. I don't know if I get things together. I might do a stream on the Interfacing Linux YouTube channel a Sunday when I'm editing. Eventually, I want to get to the point where I can do that. I'm just going to have the time to do it. Then we'll find out. All right, beautiful people. I think that's going to wrap us up. 4:40. Yeah, we did good. How long was the show? Let me bounce this over. All right, about 10 minutes too long. That's about what I was thinking. All right, I'll fix that in post. Cool. All right. Well, say goodbye, Joe.
Okay, bye everyone. It was so much fun. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next week.